And welcome to another edition of summary of the Newsfile UK. Thank God it's another Friday, and you know how we do it. We normally try our best to summarize everything that has transpired over the over the week, and then we bring it to you on Fridays from Monday to Friday. I've got Chairman who just came from Ghana. Chairman, cheers. I've also got my coffee here. I can see.
All right.
Good morning.
That's nice.
Welcome from Ghana.
Thank you so much. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. I like to say that I'm really happy you're available this morning. Faith as fiddle, and then kicking, so that we can make the program smooth as usual. There's something Mr. Amwakuba said, I think he's a professor or a doctor of Dr. Amwakuba, that has actually made me very sad this morning. I heard him yesterday or the day before yesterday talking to Kojo Jansen about the fact that it appears as if Akufo-Addo has overstayed his power. Perhaps we all know that it has to come to the end of his tenure of office or his terms of office before then, if we're not happy, we can perhaps take him off the seat. But he said if we allow the man, he will do more damage than we expected. Chairman, doesn't that sadden you? I mean, Okoja, what's his name? Koku Anyido, who's saying that we should pray for Akufo-Addo. That's the only option. It doesn't seem serious to me than Dr. Amwakumba saying Akufo-Addo. I mean, it looks as if he has to go now, though it's not his time. Otherwise, do more damage than is done. What do you say to this? Right. So,
good question. First, I will say good morning to all listeners because we are all Ghanaians, and good morning also to my political party, Progressive People's Party. And mind you, before we forget,
208
tonight, 5 o'clock tonight, Dr. Indom speaks. Dr. Indom is going to address Ghanaians tonight at 5 p.m. this afternoon. And so that's a great one as part of our 10th year of formation of the party, 10th anniversary. So Dr. Indom will talk to Ghanaians at 5 o'clock today. That apart, I would say thank you for the questions you have raised. Dr. Amwakumba, I believe, has spoken the things that any reasonable Ghanaian would speak. The man or our presidency or the management of our country needs change. It needs reshuffle. And the president himself must be part of the people to be reshuffled. That is no disrespect to him, because he has had 6 clear years of non-interruption to steer the affairs of our country. But they have not done well. And the government has not done well at all. So I think the NPP administration needs a new leadership. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the vice president, is there. There are so many people there in the NPP administration who can take over and perform much better, because I don't know. I mean, you see, there's a level beyond which Peter's principle in management science. Peter's principle is that you can promote a man or a woman beyond the level of his or her intelligence. Afterwards, he or she becomes useless. There are some people who have limits in life. That if you promote a supervisor to a managerial role, he will perform abysmally. We are all humans. The president must step down because I've just returned from Ghana 48 hours ago. And the things I saw were so pathetic that I believe a better governor or manager can handle our affairs much better. Things that are taking place in Ghana, the government sees, the government's agents see. God knows how the communication is between the level of assemblyman rising up to the presidency. In between, there are so many people there working for NPP government. There are ministers there, there are assemblymen there, there are metropolitan chief executives there, there are members of parliament. Can they not see? Do they not see? Do they not report to the presidency? That is serious. The same thing happened. Now, these days, they are doomsaw every day. Even for the past 3 days, doomsaw in Accra. Why? We see doomsaw every day. And when Mahama or NDC were in power, we were told they were useless, they were not competent, they couldn't handle the doomsaw. NPP is also not in a position to handle the doomsaw. The question is, when shall we learn as Ghanaians? So many things are happening. We're given excuses. We're given excuse with COVID. We even trying to give excuse with the Russian Ukrainian war. So which other excuse do we want to use? It's too much. And it's the country is there for us to manage. We are not being able to, we are not managing the country as a government. So they must change. Of course, the answer to the question is yes. The president must step down, and for one of MPP guys to take over, because I know in any patriotic party there are also sharp and smart men and women who can do a better job than what is happening today. I'm sorry, this is a very short answer to a long question.
Thank you very much. I just got Joe. Joe just joined us. It's sad. I mean, my concern, as I said, I don't find Kwaku Doho's Anyi saying to be that much of importance. Though I added that up because of the fact that it also transpired over the week. But my concern is Dr. Mwakuba. He made Akufo-Addo look like he doesn't exist. I mean, education-wise, our power, electricity, everything. According to Mwakuba, he claims Akufo-Addo is rather doing worse, and that if we don't get rid of him or if he doesn't step down, he's going to do more damage than. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Doc.
How are you, sir?
We are managing, and good morning to Mr. Kitiosen.
Oh, good morning, Joe.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Of the news,
thank you.
Looking at what had transpired over the weekend, as I said, I was listening to Dr. Mwakuba, who spoke to Kojo Yankson over the week, especially on the performance of the current government. And according to the man, I mean, today kids cannot even write. Kids only go to school and they come out as if they're empty heads. And is gutted, syndrome was actually being the fact that Akufo-Addo is doing worse than he's expected of him. And the last year that is left with, it would do worse. And so, unfortunately, as we've been discussing over the years, I don't think there's any thing we can do until the man comes to the end of his tenure of office. What do you say about what the man said? He said the man is doing awful. And, he doesn't. I think he doesn't get a chance to rule anymore. He got booed by the entertainment program they had, where people wanted him off stage. I don't know how they link that to politics, to entertainment. Yeah, Joe, you're live on air. Good morning again.
Yeah. Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity. I also want to use this opportunity to appreciate those who are.
Speak up. I could hardly hear you.
Yeah, I want to use this opportunity to also appreciate the effort those who are listening and viewing, the effort they are making into listening to the program and watching you. and also those who will be joining, like Mr. Kitiosin has already joined. It's because of the love for Ghana. And so we need to appreciate those people who take all these efforts into, trying to make meaningful contributions to the development of our country. Doc, to begin with, I think a very big onerous opportunity lies within
gentlemen,
us.
can you check your system, because I can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me? Is it okay?
I can hear him.
Well, you can hear me. Okay, go on, you.
Yeah, so like I was saying,
all right,
we are being confronted with a very big issue, and that issue is Akufo-Addo is destroying our country. And you see, I have always been one skeptic that has always suggested or felt that Ghanaians are not angry and hungry enough. But I think on that citizen festival, global citizen festival, I think Ghanaians exhibited. I mean, not all Ghanaians, but a portion of Ghanaians spoke for us. A portion of Ghanaians made us feel that yes, they are hungry, only that it is that attitude of Ghana, oh, let us give him chance, let's give him some respect. And they've seen that nothing is going to happen. So now they need to show their teeth to this president. Look, this is why I believe democracy is not good, because we should not allow Akufo-Addo to finish his term. And this is what I believe. Because look, if now, doctor, and yesterday I had a banter with you, that instead of discussing Kuku-Addo, today, as I speak with you now, Mr. Kitiosin is in Ghana, so probably, or unless he had come.
No, he's back.
But if he's still in Ghana,
he's back.
He would attest to this fact that the IMF is telling Ghana government that, look, freeze all people who have invested in the government bonds and treasury bill and all that, freeze their principal money, just only issue them the interest. So now, if you've invested in treasury bill and you want to use the money for something, and let's say it matures today or tomorrow, you go the Ghana Bank of Ghana or whichever bank will tell you that, look, you cannot have your principal. Assuming your principal is what you're going to use for your project wherever, or assuming you've lost your mom or dad and you want to go and bury him or her, and you want to go for your money. This is the situation IMF is telling Ghana's government. And so for how long are we going to sit down there and allow this, excuse my language, this nonsense to go on? What has happened to that economy? And you see, and Mr. Kitiosin did make a certain point that now the only thing that comes to their defense is COVID and Russia, Ukraine, and probably now the death of the Queen. And maybe...
Oh no, I hope your line
Yeah, hello, can you hear me? Maybe the coronation of the king now will also be added to the pile of defense they are putting up. But the question is, the MPP set up a 10-member or 17-member committee to manage the economy before COVID even struck. Those member committee that Baumia was even not part of, they set it up before COVID struck. So if the economy was good before COVID came in, why was that member committee established? And so,
that's a very good question.
We are just allowing this man to have his freedom. And one thing Mr. Kitiosin said that I also agree 10,000% with him is that the man doesn't even care. He doesn't care. Yesterday or 2-3 days ago, you saw Kelly Gajapo, whatever his name is, organizing a birthday party, and the president was there. A president, when your people are in this mess, when you yourself, we say our debt to GDP is almost 100%, and that for the next 2-3 months, if German ambassador or German president or German prime minister or British prime minister goes to Ghana now, and for us to even give him yokogari to eat, we need to go and borrow money to buy that yokogari to give to the prime minister. And you are there attending birthday parties, and he doesn't care. You see, so we should not also care. We should not also care. We should not allow this man to finish. Because look, what confronts us now as a nation It's not the destructive mood Akufo-Addo has kind of reset our country into. The problem now is that we are going to face a catastrophic next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years and the next future. Because look, now, if we allow him to finish his term, Ghana is going to go deep down under the abyss. It is going to go further down because the stealing is not going to finish, because now they know they will never, ever get the chance to be in power again. And so this is the extra time. The extra time for the theft, the extra time for everything, for the looting. You see, so Doc, it is quite unfortunate. And what the man said, I think I cannot disagree with this man. I think the man has just nailed everything.
Have you met Professor Ma before? Have you met him?
No, I haven't.
That man, he doesn't relent in his objectivity. He speaks it. He says it as it is.
Exactly.
Leaving such objectivity, but you see, with the issue
that is what we need. But you see, coming to what Kuku and always say, he says what we should do. What unless we pray for what? Unless we pray for Akufo-Addo, Ghana will not what.
Ghana will not.
You see. With all due respect, Kuku Aido, he can be my father, he can be my uncle, but this is the most stupidest statement I've ever heard. The most stupid statement I've ever heard.
In prayer.
Now, the question is, when we're voting for Akufo-Addo, did we say unless we pray Akufo-Addo will not become president, or what? Was that part of the manifesto?
Maybe
was prayers part of the manifesto?
Well, that's just his faith. That's what he believes in.
What is his faith? Look, let me tell you, and that attitude where we've been made to feel that God it's only when you bring God into everything that everything. Look, God said, "I have created you in my image. This is the land. Amen. Occupy it, control it. This is for you. I am not going to come down to come and plant food for you." And so if you sit down there, you have gold, you have resources, and your president is using the money to take a woman. How can we pray for a president who has a wife and having a girlfriend and sleeping in an aeroplane in the air? How can the Holy Ghost get to this man to help us save the economy? A president who is stealing. How can the Holy Ghost go to a person who is stealing? They say darkness has nothing to do with light. No. The Holy Ghost is light. Akufo-Addo is darkness. How can the light merge with the darkness? And so, even if we pray, even if we organize 100 years of fasting and prayers for Akufo-Addo for God to reduce his age from 70 something to even 50 years, it's not gonna happen, because the man he needs cleansing. He needs to purge himself. He needs to cleanse himself because he's filthy. With all due respect, he's filthy. Filthy as in everything, as in corruption, filthy as in womanizing, filthy as in everything. So how can we say how can we say we need to pray for him? And look, God has given. I will not support any candidate. I will not support any political party that comes to tell me God will do that. God was not going to do anything. UK here, they are turning their churches into pubs and all that, and they are doing well. In India, there is no God. In China, there is no God, and it's sitting anywhere. We need to think as people and stop thinking like animals. There is no God anywhere. God is you.
Let me
God is you.
So
yeah, I'm right here.
Let's say something. If I have to let Joe continue, but you wanted to say something. According to Joe, I need the whole issue of let's pray to God. It doesn't make one hell of a sense.
Well, from that perspective, all I could work out is that Mr. Nyidoho, one, is a believer in God. Yeah, he knows that with God, all things are possible.
We all believe that.
That is why he's saying that we need to pray for Nana Addo. Reading between the lines, I can say that Mr. Kuku Nyidoho, what he said also meant what we are talking about, that things are not going well with our leadership, the presidency. Therefore, we need prayers for him probably to get things right, in the right order. Yeah. It's a very great shame. The things I know you will know what I'm talking about. The things I saw in Accra frightened me.
What did
The
you see?
things I saw in Accra
Did
just
you see the news was gotten worse?
5 days ago, 4 days ago before I came. I'll tell you only one, give you only one example. Traveling from that long road from Weja or Kasua to Kwame Nkrumah Circle, whenever we got to a traffic light on the high road, beggars came in there to beg for money.
Oh dear.
I have nothing wrong with beggars or the needy begging for money. But what is wrong is that this is a high road, a very high road that if you don't take care,
were they
the car,
disabled?
they will be knocked down by motor vehicles.
Were they not
And
disabled?
is the government not watching? Our Ghana government, does the government not know that beggars are on the streets and the roads begging for money? Even a cripple who stands at less than 3 feet tall will come close to your car window to beg for money. There's nothing wrong with that. But what is wrong is that why has Ghana government not looked after such people? Get them together, place them in a facility, employ people to look after them, give them food to eat, give them accommodation. It's sad that we got these people walking in between in high roads, highways. They have no jobs. They have no hope in their villages. They do not all come from Accra.
Right.
I live in Accra, I know. They come from all parts of Ghana. And even I understand some even come from Burkina Faso. They come into Ghana to be begging for alms. Is the government not considerate enough? Has it not got any compassion to look after at these things? There's a lot of work to be done in Ghana, but it seems our government do not care. Could be NDC, could be NPP, because if the NDC had taken good care, maybe the NPP would have continued vice versa. Both parties have failed us. That is why my party tonight, I hope everybody will go to Dr. Indom's Facebook and listen 5 p.m. tonight or today. He's talking about corruption, transparency, accountability, all these hazards in the Ghanaian society. Dr. Papa Kwesindom under Indom Speaks is going to talk about today, 30th September, 5 p.m. is going to talk about it. And let us all go in there and listen.
Okay.
Listen to what our party leader is going to say. As this is not politics. He's going to come out with good stuff, because last week or so, why did he not come out with 11 points to help the government in respect of Ghana Beyond 8? Dr. Papa Kwesindom analyzed it clearly. He spoke about that. This is what we need. We not insult. We not just want to talk cheap. We want Ghana to be a happy and a better place. It is not being, Dr. Morton. It is not being. That's why we are worried. But I tell you one thing. It's just only last Saturday, I had a meeting with Madam Samia Nkrumah, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's daughter.
Okay.
I had a meeting with her. I will send you the pictures.
Okay.
But the inside story, I won't tell you now until you give me a special interview. And I promise you, we, Progressive People's Party, are now talking to Convention People's Party, People's National Convention, People's Action Party. We are talking to all these splinter groups of political parties to get together and prepare ourselves towards 2024 general elections.
All right. Anyway,
we are doing that.
We virtually have a year more to go, because in November, today is the end of September, so we have 3 months to wrap up the year. And so it looks like very soon we'll be saying bye to 2022, and then whether we retrogressing or we progressing. Joe, so far, what do you assess this year? I don't know. This government has been in power for the last 3 years, and then they go about a year and still looking to, vying to still stay in power. What is the chances of the other options apart from the NPP? I mean, you have maybe after considering the CPP and then maybe PPP, you reckon the only option? You think the only option we have is the NDC?
I think so. And this is where, because look, this is where I probably disagree with Mr. Kitiosan, with all due respect, and I respect his opinion and his view. It's very important we have different voices, but we can disagree with respect and all that. You see, the point is that before, it is a good news what Mr. Kitiosan is saying. It's a welcome news, and this is what we've all been waiting for, that all the sons and daughters of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah will come together under one umbrella and forge that kind of cohesion, that united front that will kind of wrestle power from both the NPP and the NDC. Because even if you go into the history, John Mahama is an Nkrumahite. Nana Akufo-Addo himself is an Nkrumahite. Only that he didn't learn anything good from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He only learned the thieving and the corruption from his UP family. So, but the corruption and other things, you cannot talk about that in Kwame Nkrumah's government. But the point is that before we come to think of 2024, we need to assess the last election we had. During the last election, what was the percentage of CPP? What was the percentage of PPP? What was the calculate all the percentages of these political parties, merge it together. How much is it going to be? And do you know that even this pastor, Chabosmo or whatever, if we were to count in terms of, he had more votes than CPP and PPP. He was like third person in the race. And so if we are to merge all these political parties together, calculate their percentage in terms of vote, you cannot even get 4% or 5%. Now, how can you wrestle power in just 1 year with 4%? How can you do that? We need 50 plus 1 to win the election. And so what we are saying, what I think, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is that, look, yes, and I agree again with Mr. Kitiosan in saying the NDC, all what he was saying, at least no government is going to come to solve every problem in the world. No government has ever done that. Even Dr. Kwame Nkrumah couldn't do everything.
I like that honesty. I mean,
so the NDC started building schools and all that. In these KIOs and all that, some of them, it is because of schools not in their area and all that. That is why they've turned into KIOs. And when there are schools, and we kind of progress the free SHS and all that, we do it progressively as it was planned by the NDC. Some of these people will leave the streets and get into schools and all that. So the NDC built infrastructure to accommodate these people. It was up to the coming government to also do something to kind of appreciate what the NDC did. They came in and they've not done anything. And so if we kind of equated that everybody has been worse. Let me tell you something. Kwame Nkrumah, do you know that the job 600 in Parliament,
right,
in Parliament House, was started by Kwame Nkrumah? Do you know that?
Oh, okay.
Kwame Nkrumah started it. He didn't finish it. Do you know who came to finish it? It was Professor Mills who came to finish it.
No, hang on. Excuse me. I better come in here. On point of order. I better come in here. Dr. Morton.
Yes, sir.
Job 600 was finished totally in 1965 under my own eyes.
Maybe
built by
Job
600, which is now a state house, was finished in 1965.
Probably maybe the one that the parliamentarians are now occupying as their offices.
No, I'm telling you. If you give me 2 seconds, you will understand it.
Okay.
I was there with my own dad when Nkrumah built job 600. They call it job number 600. They built it day and night until they finish it for
Ghanaians. He used Ghanaians. Yes, I know that. I know that.
They built it in time for Organization of African Unity, OAU conference. At that time, when the conference took place in Accra, Haile Selassie was there, Jomo Kenyatta was there, Nyerere was there, Kenneth Kaunda was there. My God, Tafawa Balewa was there. Sekoture was there. All the African leaders who had consented to forming OAU or African Unity, they were there. That's why I saw Haile Selassie, I think about 3 feet 2 inches or 3 feet 4 inches tall.
What happened to the building? What happened to the building?
It's there. The building is now there. It's now the state house.
Well,
They
probably
it's
a different one from what I'm talking about. What I'm talking
no.
about
Job
is
600 is the biggest thing. It's at Osu. Job 600 is the
I'm
greatest.
talking about is just behind the Parliament House or just opposite the Parliament House, and it's now being occupied by MPs using it as their offices.
Yeah, so that is not Job 600 at all. Job 600 is only one. It's only one at Osu.
Thanks for that correction.
Thank you.
What I'm saying is that building that I'm talking about was started by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And the building, ever since Dr. Kwame Nkrumah exited power, or he was forced to exit power, it's been there until Professor Mills came to do what? To continue. And now it's being used by these MPs as MPs' offices and all that. So all I'm trying to say is that, yes, someone will do something. You only come to kind of complete it or can add a little bit of taste to it to make it nice. That is all that governance is all about. But at this moment, there is nothing that you can say, okay, even MPP hates NDC. So let us go and revisit the things Kufuor did that they couldn't finish. And then we MPP, Kufuor is our man. It's our tradition. So let us finish it. Even can you talk about Kufuor's things that Akufo-Addo is even completing or finishing? Or even saying Kufuor had this dream. So if he couldn't do it before he exited, let me do it. What are you talking about? So when that equalization of NDC and MPP are the same, it begs my mind because look, Doc, the MPP, the CPP, the PNC, look, I sat in the same press room with this guy, he used to be former secretary of CP. He used to go to Peace FM all the time. If Mr. Kitiosen can get me his name. Bonfa. What's his name? Bonfa or whatever his name. Yeah, I sat in the same room with him doing press conferences against a coalition, WACAM, West African Association of Communities Affected by Mining. We were in the same room with one other man who used to, and this was a CPP man. Kufuor came to power, and he was benefiting from the MPP. He was all over. He was rich. He was talking for the MPP as if he was the MPP's best communicator. You see, so all these people have gone into the MPP and NDC just to fill their belly. Are you getting it? And so if we now wake up and say third force, those third force are not going to come from heaven. I've always said this. It is these same Ghanaians. And so if the CPP now does not have the ground to form government, if the PPP now does not have the ground to form the government, what we need to do as a country is not to sit down there and put our hands in our laps and say we are waiting for PPP to come. By the time PPP comes, because PPP in the last election had less than 1%, when is he going to garner the 49% to add to make it 50?
Okay, Chairman.
Thank you.
And so what I'm trying to say is that we need to find the alternative. And look, Mr. Kitiosen, it's good today I have you. I am an Nkrumahist. I believe in Dr. Kwame Nkrumah 1 billion times %. I believe, and I think Kwame Nkrumah is the greatest black man who has ever lived. That's my belief. But look, Kwame Nkrumah, the people who oppose Kwame Nkrumah, greatly, the very big enemies of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah were not Jerry John Rawlings or the NDC. It was the MPP. But Dr. Papa Kwesindum went and aligned with the MPP in 2000. And so today, if there is anything for an Nkrumahist to do to save Ghana, Mother Ghana, it is rather for the Nkrumahist to identify with a political party that has certain tones of Nkrumah's ideals. And that is the NDC. Because you look at it, John Mahama, his father was with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. John Mahama himself is an Nkrumahist. And so if the PPP, the CPP at that time did not see anything wrong in aligning itself with the enemy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, why is it now that they find it so hard to throw their support into with the NDC. And look, what makes it different today, what makes the challenge very different from what happened in 2000 is that
That's
now now that the problem is that now a very big challenge confronts us. In 2000 there was no challenge confronting us. Now Ghana's resources is all dissipated. Ghana's everything is gone. And so this is the time that Nkrumahs need to join the NDC to save Ghana. It is not about the luxurious time when it was Kofonia, J. Kofo, Jensen, Jack who were singing and dancing. Now we cannot sing in our campaigns anymore. There's blood. Ghana is weeping red in its eyes. And so this is the time for the Nkrumahs to join forces with a political party that has certain element of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's belief, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's ideals in it. You look at John Mohammed's schools that he is building. It's the same as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's policy of building Ghana National and all those kind of things. It is the same. So we don't have that luxury of waiting for PPP to garner 49%. That is going to be in the next 60 years before they get that 49%. You understand? And so we need to. I beg, Mr. Kitiosin, look, if it was okay to support the MPP to come to power in 2000, it is okay now. And it is even more okay today to support the NDC to gain power from the MPP and arrest these criminals than we trying to form a third party. Please, we have a country to save. We don't have the luxury. We don't have the luxury. If you have an exam to sit in the next day, you don't go to birthday parties and sit in the night and be clubbing because you have an exam that will determine your life, your future. Yes. So we don't have the luxury of going to sit down round table and sit down with Samia and all that to be thinking about coming together for what? To get 4%, come together at 4 political parties, all with 1% to make 4% to go and win election 2024. It's not gonna work. Mr. Kitiosin, with all due respect.
I'm getting some people on the line, but Chairman, you want to say something before I go to them?
Yeah, absolutely. I thank Joe for speaking wholeheartedly.
I think we need to get up.
But you see, it's a little learning. My lecturer told me that a little learning was very dangerous. A little learning or a little information is very dangerous. I tell you what, CPP was proscribed in 1966, never, ever to come back again until after 1992 Constitution, before CPP would be allowed to come in. In between that period, the followers of Kwame Nkrumah had disintegrated into various other factions, including the NDC itself. MPP, they had no problem because they removed Nkrumah, so they were there. But all other political parties are all Nkrumahs, including the NDC. Do you understand? So this is where it started. Therefore, in 2000, when Mr. Rawlings came in for a very long time, Ghanaians were fed up with him. So many people were dying. Rawlings' chain was there. The Supreme Court judges were murdered. Nobody could question Rawlings. Nobody could question Rawlings. Everybody was scared of Rawlings because just like Idi Amin. So everybody was scared of him, I understand. So going to the 2000 election, which MPP won, one thing was clear. President Kufuor came to us at Convention People's Party, CPP, to plead with us to help them, to join forces with them to win and remove, get rid of Mr. Rawlings. At that time, for NPP, they were there. But Rawlings had come to center stage. Nobody could defeat Rawlings. And so we colluded with, the CPP colluded with New Patriotic Party, our worst enemy. Sometimes it's good to play with your enemy, you know. No one is perfect. So we supported NPP to make sure that they won power and cleared Mr. Rawlings off the scene. because that guy was irrelevant. He had no plan for Ghana. And if I challenge anybody who said Mr. Rollins had a plan for Ghana, show me a book he has written and his ideas in there, I'll be glad. He had nothing, he had no plan he was just building the house. He was not an architect, he was not a builder. He tried to build the house. Right now, where is his house? You know what I mean? That's why we colluded with them, not secret. So after doing that, I've said this before, after doing that and making sure Kufuor and MPP won the power, Mr. President Kufuor came back to us at CPP to thank us and ask us specifically to give NPP or Kufuor and Co 6 of our CPP members to join them in government and not to move or transfer to NPP. They were on secondment, including Dr. Indom, Dr. Hagen, Dr. Kojo, whatever, he's passed away, and 3 other people, 1 lady and other 2 gentlemen, and my own good friend, Freddie Blay. They all CPP guys. So, but at the end of the day, Freddie Blay had the deputy speaker position as an example. So when they had to come back to CPP, Freddie chose to stay. He has stayed up until now. So many people say Indom was an NPP and all that. So come on, this is a joke. It's not true. This is what we did. We supported them. That's why they said thank you. And we took Indom and the rest of them to join. And Indom did an excellent job. 3 days ago, I rode on the road N1. Dr. Papa Kosindom was delegated by Kufuor to go to United States of America to negotiate before they built the N1. And I'm proud to say that. And if you see Dr. Indom anywhere, ask him, he will tell you. He was the leader of the delegation to go and win funds for us to have that road constructed. So that's why I just want to make that clear. Number 2, with the party political, the election results, I would tell Joe that please, that is not a big deal at all, and that's not even a shame at all, because at that time of the elections, we were in splintered groups, and I promise you, some had even less than, we even beat CPP at that time. Some had less than 1% and all that. That's fine. But we do not use that to judge or predict the next election that's going to happen in 2024. No, sir. The smaller parties, some even don't want to know about them. So they will have 0 in their constituencies. We know that. But coming together as a solid front is different. Mm. You do check it out. Look at a football club called Chelsea in United Kingdom. Mm. They were a totally useless team. They were not relevant until there were changes. Until there were changes before they will even win the Premiership. So if you say no team can win a Premiership, please, we want to think again. We didn't even expect Manchester City. Was not an important football club. Man City was not an important football club. It was only Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal, and even Chelsea. Manchester City was nowhere until the Arab funds came in and all that. We know what it is today. So things change. Things will never be the same. And as assuming if we come back together, you see the number of people, there are some Nkrumahs in the NPP now. Yeah, Freddie Blay, Nkrumah's boy, as an example. There are so many Nkrumahs voting for NPP, and so many Nkrumahs voting for NDC. But if we come together as one strong unit, we become a third force. And a third force that we recuperate, draw back our support. It is going to be different, Joe. That's why I just want to assure you. I'm not arguing. I can assure you that as human beings, anything can happen. Yeah. Anything can happen in the next 1.5 years to come, 2024. There is also, if we are united, in my position as a chairman of the PPP in United Kingdom and literally in Europe, I've got responsibility for Europe as well. Even the USA and Canada. People talk to me. They say, Mr. Kitiosin, get back together. It's as if we are the only Nkrumahs. We are not the only Nkrumahs. Other Nkrumahs are there. PNC and ACP and all these are. So it's a big job we are doing, and I want to not even recruit, to get Joe on board. It's a big job for us. Okay, we are talking. We are talking. Not me sitting with Samia. I only told you I met Samia. No, I spoke to the CPP chairperson from Poma. I spoke to her, and he said we are talking about merging. So please don't misquote me. Samia is not even the chairperson of CPP, but Nkrumah was my father, so Samia is a sister. That's why I was proud to go and meet her personally. That was a personal level. You understand? Yeah. So there's hope. All I'm saying, there's hope for us, Joe. Don't lose hope. There's hope. One
is
again.
The English media houses are agitated about Kwesi Kwarteng's dealing with the economy. The drastic changes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read that in the newspapers. The confidence he has to look at some of the changes within the British economy as a vice. How do you call it? Kwesi Kwarteng. Have you read anything about that?
Oh, it has been my daily bread since it started. You can imagine any serious politician, not just because they're Ghanaian. Okay. I tell you what, they are making very bad mistakes.
Okay.
This current administration are making seriously bad mistakes, incredible mistakes.
Mm.
Look at the hazard is going to give to everybody in the country at the moment. I can assure you that within a period of 4 weeks or 2 months before Christmas, you will find the chancellor retiring or resigning. You will find the prime minister herself no vote of confidence. Trust me, we know Westminster inside out.
Okay.
It's not going to be. They're not going to go beyond Christmas.
Oh no.
I'm telling you, they are not going to go. You just watch it every day. And tomorrow, read. Tomorrow, come on Sunday, please let us all read the Daily Telegraph and Times on Sunday. The story will be there. They are not going to last. They are making bad mistakes. That's why Richard Sunak has retired quietly. And I promise you, even Boris Johnson, the previous administration is far, far, far better than what we are seeing today. There's a lot of struggles. Rishi Sunak should have been the prime minister. He didn't have a chance because, for obvious reasons, not a superficial black in inverted commas. You've got to watch our language. Do you understand? Sunak was the right guy, but I knew it was highly impossible for him to be appointed a prime minister of United Kingdom.
You're going to Ghana earlier.
So the people of Punjab would have said, hey, we have not taken over Britain. They're not in a million years would Punjab be a prime minister of UK. I'll tell you that. I'm not joking. So it doesn't surprise me. The right guy was there, but because he's a Punjab or God knows India, there's no way they wouldn't do that. Okay, so let's watch it. By Christmas, these two guys will go. The prime minister will go. The chancellor will go. Britain doesn't work like that. That's what I would say. It doesn't work like that. It's very interesting.
Right.
You see that on Sunday, I promise you.
Joe, are you there, Joe? I think Joe is.
Oh, Joe is run away. Why is he run away, Joe?
So he must have.
He's always got urgent matters to attend to. Let us forgive him. But if you find him, let's report him missing in action.
Yeah. So, Chairman, what about the future of this current administration here in the UK? Then, I mean, what are you making of this? Is it, you think? Are you very confident they're going to be gone very soon with the retirement?
Oh yeah, they're going to go very soon. The two things they have played the game into the hands of the Labour Party, which is definitely going to form the next government at the next general elections without a shadow of doubt. I know them. I know the system. I know the British culture. I know it so well. Once upon a time, that was in the before 1990, Paul Boateng stood at a Labour stronghold. He failed bitterly. Why? Because he was superficially black. He failed bitterly.
Joe is back.
Do you understand?
Joe, are you
he
there?
failed, and they put him to
Okay.
and that's why they transferred him to Harsden, and he won. by almost 100% majority.
Right,
You
Joe.
understand?
Let me get Joe. He's back now. He must have
You
attended.
see, thank God he's lost and found. Come, go on. Question, put his back on the wall.
You don't take much interest in the British politics, do you? About these Quatins dealing with the economy with the drastic change you started up with. You know, the media is doing a bit of public outcry over whether he has that confidence.
Yeah, thank you very much once again. And Mr. Kitios, I didn't take your personal meeting with Samia as anything to kind of use it against you. It was just an expression.
Yeah,
but
I just made it clear. That's all. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
if it's
No,
anything.
not at all. I had to make it clear.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
otherwise it will be misread even on the news. Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
Yeah, like we are saying, Mr. Kitiosin, I myself and I think other Nkrumahs, we feel that, look, it's been long overdue that the Nkrumahs take their rightful place in Ghana's politics. But where I have a difficulty, especially now, is the fact that we don't have time. Because before we come in, before we organize, before we take back what belongs to us, probably there will be nothing for us to even be proud of. And so we need to, first of all, you see, like I always say, if the one chasing you to kill you is not tired, you the one trying to run for your life, how can you be tired?
That's the thing.
Akufo-Addo is destroying the country, and we are having a luxury of having a honeymoon of trying to organize. There's no time to organize. Let us back the one who is reasonable, who can eat, but at least leave some for us, that when we come, we can use what is left to do something. That is the most important thing. So I thank you, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. It's fantastic. It's been long overdue, but you see, better late than never. Better late than never.
Thank you for that.
It's a fantastic thing. And Dr. Papa Kosindu, me, I'm an Absunian, and so I like him. I tried in Augustus, I tried to win one of his awards, but I couldn't. I mean, there were other people better than me. So he's done wonderful. He's done wonderful. If you go to Augustine's College, what he alone has put up a building, and it's amazing for you to go and see. Dr. Papa Kosindu, I wish he could have been the president of Ghana, but unfortunately, you know, Ghana's politics, it is what it is. Well, back to Kwesi Kwarteng's issue. You see, Labour as a political party, there is something Labour is missing. And Labour thinks every person from a minority background should belong to Labour. And that is where they are getting it wrong.
Okay.
That woman making that statement, yes, probably she was trying to say that if you listen to Kwesi Kwarteng and the way he speaks, you would wonder even if he was British. But then he is superficially black. He is born left, right, center, middle, whatever, black. That is what the woman was trying to say. Okay. But you see, that point clearly vindicates what I'm trying to say. That he is black, and so why would he be a conservative? He is superficially black. So what?
No, I found that to be a joke. That was a wrong joke. We all understood it, but that was a unguarded statement from a member of parliament of 10 years standing. It's a great shame. That's how the Indian sees the black person. I've been with the Indians for so many years. That's how they know us for being blacks.
Yeah,
because when you go to Ghana, Indians are white people. You know that.
Yeah.
Syrians and Indians, Lebanese and all that, they are champions of Ghana, untouchables. Is it not true? Even Rollins was bowing to these Lebanese and all that. So that woman has got that at the back of her mind. She made a very unguarded and bad statement. We are all sorry for her.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a doctor as well.
You see, Mr. Kitios, in as much as what you are saying is 100% true, sometimes we, the black people, also get certain things wrong. We are also, and the fact is, now I've seen other arguments. I've seen other people say, oh, Kwesi Kwarteng is being thrown under the bus because he's black.
Okay.
Because no, it's not.
The other aspect of some of us also making that argument. So you say it, we also think, oh, why was George Osborne had his bad days, Philip Hammond had his bad days, Rishi Sunak had his bad days, Sajid Javid had his bad days. Why is it Kwesi Kwarteng now they are saying you should resign the prime minister? You see, and because he is look, I am of the view that if we want to get this racism thing and all this thing out of this whole kind of situation, it is a matter of us appreciating the fact that you go into a job or you go into any position as a human being first, and not as a black or white or yellow or brown.
Yeah.
You go in there based on your proficiency. You go in there, and when we are always making room, every time a black man gets a platform to speak, oh, open doors for black people, open doors for if it's a black man and he cannot do anything because he's black and we need diversity, so we should open doors. Is that the case?
Oh, no. But maybe what you're saying is perfectly right, in right order. But I tell you, the fact is that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. If you look at the economic climate today, you will not be surprised that we got a chancellor.
Mr. Kitiosen, what you are refusing to also accept is that, yes, we the blacks, we have come from somewhere to be part of this system. It's a fact. No black man is British. British are white people.
No. I think that's a very cheap. That's a very cheap statement to make. You are making a cheap statement. Let me tell you. You are making a cheap statement.
Would you please let me land? Please.
Dr. Morton has a pertinent question, not under the belt. You know what I mean?
Let me land.
Okay, let him land.
It might be cheap. That is my belief. It might be cheap because you look at all these people we are talking about. You go in there and they will tell you, Kwesi Kwarteng, his mother came here as an immigrant from Ghana. Mo Farah, he came here as an immigrant from Somalia. This person came in as an immigrant from India. So
the person
basically,
I don't know. So, okay, go on, Joe.
So basically, we are from somewhere, immigrated to this place, and so we have our root. Now, when we are making all this argument, why are we not saying we should make Indians in Ghana president of Ghana or prime ministers of Ghana?
Oh, no. Why?
Why are we? You go to South Africa today, Julius Malema is fighting the white people there because he believes they are not from there. I am not defending this thing, but what I'm trying to say is that let us first of all appreciate the fact that we've come from somewhere. That thing is going to be there. People are going to love you. Some are also going to hate you. You've seen the issue of Meghan Markle. We cannot attest to it. And that the Duke of York, who has brought proper shame to the royal family, is not talked about. But Meghan Markle is the subject. Are you getting it? And so it is a matter of us accepting that, look, we are a minority. This is not where we naturally come from, and that we are going to face these challenges and accepting that way. But every day jumping on that bandwagon and all that, for me, this is my humble opinion. I am not speaking for anybody. I am only trying to say that we need to.
Yes.
Well,
I thank Joe for Joe's level of aggression. I respect that. I tell you what. Dr. Morton, I think we've got to get back into our own nation, Ghana.
Hear me.
Because we are an incredible set of people in Accra. When I went to Accra, I saw the massive disparities there. Some good life on the other side, and that makes me sad. That's what I was trying to address. Do you understand? So I hope to God we have enough support. I need prayers from every Ghanaian for us, smaller political parties, to come together in good time for Ghanaians to support us or back us up. Because when Nkrumah was there, MPP was not relevant. Today, MPP is at the top. So we want to change the position. We want to change history.
Can you hear Chairman?
No.
Okay, Chairman, please hold on 1 minute. I've got Mr. Kofi Ali on the line. Otherwise, if Mr. Kofi Ali speaks, you speak, he cannot hear you. So let him finish with his submission, and then I can come to you, because when he finishes and goes back, you can hear him. So you're live on air. Good morning, sir, Mr. Kofi Ali.
Morning. So how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, greetings as well to new Sabuti. I heard his voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hiding there. And to my brother Joe and Kitchos who is in Ghana.
No, he's back here in the UK.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah,
oh,
he was
he
here
came
last
back
week,
safe.
Tuesday.
Good afternoon, Kofi Ali.
Well, he says good afternoon too, Mr. Kofi Ali.
Afternoon. Oh, quickly.
How are you, sir?
Morning. As we talk now, you know, in Ukraine, people are seriously dying from the Russian
No
war.
problem, no problem. Let's talk.
That is much more.
Yes, we're listening, Mr. Kofi Ali.
Politics is a serious business. It's not a joke. You must know what you are doing when you are in politics. And you must know what you are saying when you want people to take you serious. And you must be clear in what you are saying.
Okay.
In our case, politics has become like a joke. First, total joke. I've never seen people like this. Total joke. You wake up in the morning and someone is telling you Ghana is on fire. Is that not true? It's burning.
You keep citing
So
this example.
all of us should go and save Ghana. We must do it quickly. Is that not the language we have? It looks like some of us are just waking up in Ghana today. That we don't know the argument that was made in 1966 when the coup plotted strike. I'm taking you on the journey of the memory of history.
Okay.
They said they were saving Ghana. Ghana is going down the drain. Let's put everything aside. 1966.
Raymond, I've seen your message. I'm going to read it very soon. Just that I was trying to add you up to this thing. Yeah, go on, Mr. Kofi Ali. We're listening.
Please, the interruption is really disturbing.
That's all right.
Good. So in 1966, I'm telling you, even at independence, it is the same message. Ghana is burning. The colonial master has finished Ghana. Let's save it quickly. That is the language for which CPP mobilized, led by Kwame Nkrumah, to take over the government from the colonizers, which led to independence. He himself was removed from office. All those associated with Kwame Nkrumah will change up and down. Wherever they are, their houses, their family, their everything. If they can burn all of them. That was what happened in 1966. Fast forward. How did Rawlings took over government in Ghana? Do you remember very well?
Well,
Ghana was on fire. Ghana was, Kitiosi will tell you very well, Ghana was on fire. We must save Ghana. We lined people up and shot them. You remember? We killed them. Ghana was on fire. They've come to save Ghana. Good. Do you know how Rawlings was removed out of office back before? Ghana was on fire. We do or die. Let's save this Ghana. Rawlings left. Kofo came. NDC under the leadership of John Evan Atta Mills, the late president. Ghana was on fire. Ghana was on fire. When Mills got into government, do you understand? In fact, all the guys from MPP ran away to Kumasi. They ran away from Accra. They were chasing them. And Mills saw that, hey, his government is going down the drain because he won't have the opportunity to govern the country.
Okay.
So he said, Mimi, I don't want Basamas. I don't want trouble. Stop it.
Peacemaker.
You remember?
I do remember, yes.
When he finished, at the time, Mahama was going. The NPP slogan is "Let's save Ghana." It's on fire. You remember? Do you remember that? Even John, what's the name? This Kofi John or John Kofi or something like that. They follow these NDC guys everywhere. They're taking cars, they've stolen money. Even till now, as we talk, there are some that are being alleged to be investigated, but nobody has been arrested. Nobody has been put into jail. Nobody money has been taken from anyone.
That's a shame.
You remember very well.
That's a shame.
Then, listen, when, in fact, the German won't to me, was even known. They followed them everywhere to Ghana, to wherever these people are stolen. They say they are thieves, they have destroyed Ghana. We need to save Ghana. Is that not true?
Okay.
Right now, Joe has just woken up, telling us up in arm, we should just save Ghana. Ghana is burning. Ghana is finished. As soon as they change hands, everything will go down. Do you notice it's the same story all over again?
It is. It is.
Who is the fool? Who is the fool here?
Well, I don't know.
Those of us who have been following history.
Right.
Today, Joe is sitting here telling us there's a state of emergency. Absolutely. Our country is finished. All of us are happy. We should forget about everything. Join them. Join them with the very people who were called the thieves of yesterday. We should all join. Just forget about it. And when we finish, they will collect the money the MPP has stolen to us. That's not true. The one they stole yesterday was collected.
That's not
These
him yet.
people are the same. When we say they are the same, they say that they build school, they build this. Where is the money from? Tesla also was saying her own 8-year-old boy. If it is about borrowing money to build things, he can borrow money. Do you remember?
I do remember.
Why have we ended up as a nation of borrowing money to build things? And we have governments, people coming into government, and all they are saying is they will be the ones to borrow even more and better. We go begging arms. Is this the politics? You see, the future are Joe. The future are the young and upcoming ones. The future are young people who can see their future and say, we have a future.
That's right.
And we want to save our destiny, because young people in Ghana, look, you know that a lot of these Kaya youths are educated. Honestly, I spoke to them.
Okay.
Honestly,
I won't be surprised.
They will tell you, they'll speak to you good English. They are educated. The problem is no job. University graduates don't have job. How can secondary school child have job? Why do you think you, me, Osaboti, Joe? In fact, Joe, the last time we had a baby crying in his house.
Yes. Joe is currently a father.
Until we tend to remind these people that it's not a joke. We are the victims here.
Right.
You think Joe will come from Ghana and come and live here if Ghana is working for him?
Oh, no.
And the talk as if they came 1,000 years ago. They are those who are running. I left 20 years ago. In fact, I left when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
I didn't leave Ghana now. Me, I left when the revolution and killing, because I was a bit radical. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm one of the early people who ran away before they get me.
I see.
Yes. Today they will come and say this one is in Nkrumah, this one is not in Nkrumah. So Nkrumahism is now religion, isn't it? The pagans. So if you were a pagan yesterday, now you become a Christian, tomorrow you're a Muslim. And then we'll be following you of what you are yesterday and say that is what you are still at. Well, it's like a tribe. The whole thing has become like tribalism. Rather than using our brain. Oh, Papa Sino was in Nkrumah, but now Mama's father is the Nkrumah, and another is also, what is all this? When can we be serious with anything? You see, my fear is not you, Dr. Morton.
Yeah, no problem.
Or you, Osaboti, or me, Kokiali. It's people like Joe. Joe is a very young man. Very, very young man. I've watched this man. I've seen his picture. But I also know that our own way of doing things is what has created this up and coming young ones. Because that is what they know and understand to be right. Do you understand me?
I do.
We are those who destroy this ones.
Are you the one being chased by the police?
If somebody come and see something is 1,000, 10,000 times percent bad, where do you hear that kind of language? Is this mathematics or hooliganism? Percentage is anything over 100.
That's right.
Yes, do mathematics. Now we have invented hooliganism, because when you start inventing language, that you try to make sense out of nonsense. Do you understand? What you have done is, it's like somebody who is mad and trying to educate other mad people. I'm not particular about Joe. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
No, I'm fine.
Joe is a reflection of the young people we have. the young people in Ghana, as journalists, as the students, as businessmen, as in no honesty. That word honesty doesn't, anything goes. It's hooliganism. Is this what we want to manage a nation with? Is this what politics has become? Politics, like Sama was saying, has the power to change destiny for good.
All right, that's right.
Our own politics is changing
now,
destiny.
Ms. Ali, let's go on to the next
the
question.
worse.
I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Dr. Mwakuba said Akufo-Addo's performance is awful. I mean, if we should give him another chance, though he's literally have about a year to go, it's going to perform worse, and it's going to make things get out of hands. I know that the man has a 10-year office constitutionally, and so he's got about at least 3 months now, and then a year it'll be over. They still insist the NPP, obviously, they would want to come back to power. What do you make of Amakuba's statement that Akufo-Addo's performance is going to get worse with the last straw?
You see, these are the thieves in Ghana.
Who?
Always watch
Who is
them.
the thief?
Any dishonest person is a thief.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you why. They are not good. You are working with someone as a team. And another set of people, because of the bad situation, are those who come in, which is from the NPP, NDC. Is that not true?
It is.
Then you...
Well, this time around, it doesn't look like it's going to be just NDC and NPP. It's only within the eye or some... But we're looking at this beyond meeting the eye. There are PPPs there. There's some new parties that's going to emerge as well.
The higher possibility is between these two, because it's all about who has got more money, who can pay hooligans.
I think you are right.
To steal ballot box. These people they got all the chiefs, they are all in their pocket. Not that, you see, sometimes issues are not, our level of politics is not about what you want for yourself. It's about what people want for you by force. They impose things on you. You understand me?
I do.
It's about the biggest criminals who have ganged themselves together, and NDC and NPP have got that part. Sometimes in life, it's not the truth. The truth becomes, because it's about the stronger of the truth. This is why all other parties are not getting anything out of their effort. Do you understand? It's about who has got the biggest money, whose people are everywhere. Can you see? Who can buy electoral offices? And so that's what they are doing. We understand. But let me make something very clear. When the NBC comes, do you understand? Remember, this is the game they are playing is the game of contractors. Kennedy, Japan, they are playing the two. So if the NDC win, for example, NPP moves, isn't it? They are already in NDC, NPP. So when the NDC comes, they know their own interest. So the NDC, who know that they spoke for them at that time, will reward them. Do you know, as we talk now, there are so many people in NDC that are getting contract from NPP?
I would be surprised. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Almost all of them. They are working together. The only ones are the poor people down there. You and I. We are just, look, these people are the same. This, whatever side they come from, their interest is one. They are a bunch of capitalist, selfish elite class that have given themselves different names, but their agenda is the same.
Yes, the rich will continue to get rich.
The imperialist would assume so many forms, but his intent is the same. It's the same. And people coming to say, I'm in Nkrumah, Nkrumahism now has become religion. I'm a Christian, yet I'm the criminal in the community. Your behavior is what we want to see. Don't tell us who you are. Kwame Nkrumah is about a certain type of ideology, behavior. The understanding of what justice should be to a Ghanaian. That is what Kwame Nkrumah symbolized. Don't come and tell us I'm sitting there, I'm a Nkrumahist. You prove yourself by your behavior. Do you see what we are saying?
I do
I'm
see
an
what you're
NDC.
saying.
And then when you are NDC, age of order, at the end of the day, we know what they are doing. But do you know during the time of NDC, a school here in Old Kent Road, school, now even that school is a building they took. I don't know whether they registered it. They call it university in UK here. It's in Old Kent Road. I know that place, one corner. Now they've even giving it to one of the NDC guys to be running because it's giving it to him because they paid for it. Can you see? They use that to claim they have built a university in Ghana affiliated to the one. Is that not criminal? Dishonesty, you see, it's not about capitalism or socialism, it's about honesty. It's about doing unto others what you want to be done unto you. It's about respect, it's about calling a spade a spade. It's about understanding we have a country to build. We need to be honest. Well, nobody will get out of this mess. Nobody will get us out. We are in it. For a long time, we are already underdeveloped and we are backward. We are not competitive. We are victims. Even the Russians and the Chinese are struggling. We, the front, the common platform, the common family by which we will have a chance of giving every Ghanaian a better opportunity to do something with their destiny. We'll turn it, like Jesus who said, you turn the house of my father into where you buy and sell. I'm going to bring it back. You remember? Sometimes what is good can be used for what
okay,
is bad.
Mr. Kofi Ali, you're going to end in 2 minutes.
What is
and let me get Joe back on the show.
The purpose of building the church and the mosque and the synagogue is for goodness. But the people who are running it have become rubbish.
It's sad.
Always wake up. The martyrs have taken over.
It's very
Thank
sad.
you very much.
Thank you very much for wrapping it for me. Joe.
Yeah, Doc.
Why, Mr. Kofi Ali, yourself, and everyone tagging leaders as criminals and armed robbers? We never seen any of them using any arms, and so please, you want to cut those barriers for me before I get arrested.
Unfortunately, Mr. Kofi Ali, today I think he drank my tea, so
Joe seems to be agreeing with you. Is it for the first time he agreed totally?
No, I didn't say I agree with him. I said he drank my tea.
You see, criminals don't come.
He said you drank his tea,
and so probably there was he forgot to add good milk and good sugar in it. And so it looks. Can I speak, please?
Mr. Kofi Ali, I think the only way you can hear Joe is if you listen at the back. If you're still on the line, you can all hear him. So why don't you? Yeah, okay. Conclude in a few minutes.
Let me allow you to go on. If I have a reason, I'll come back.
You can call back, please. Thank you very much. If you call in the line, you can call my line if you can, Mr. Kofi Ali. Don't worry. All right, Joe.
Yeah. So what I was saying is he drank my tea. He forgot to add good milk and good sugar, and so he has to pour it out because it tastes bitter in his mouth. So when he came, it's all about me, Joe. But you see, I understand him. I kind of have had banters with him and all that. But you see, where I agree in portion with Mr. Kofi Ali was when he likened the situation we have and the kind of future we all want to have, like myself. If Ghana was to be better, I wouldn't be here.
Okay.
But this is why I'm also passionate, and this is why I sometimes sound angry and mad on the radio. Because look, I think there could have been a better future for me in Ghana than being in UK. And we say home is home, home sweet home. I think there was a reason why that statement was made, that home sweet home, with your mom, with your dad, your family around. Yeah, even on a Sunday, where do you go to play Sunday football? Where do you meet, to have that good feel of life, to have that God-given nice air to breathe and all that? It's all in Africa. It's all in Ghana. And so I understand that part. But that is also the reason why we are crying, because we want Ghana to be best. Me talking as Joe, if there are certain things I aspired in life for and I couldn't attain it, I want my daughter, my son to attain that, and even attain it in higher height than what probably I would have wished for.
Why not?
And so it will be cruel and it will be bad on my part to sit down here and say, okay, for me, I've been able to flee to UK. I'm happy. UK, at least my wage is almost 100 million, more than 100 million when you take it to Ghana. So I'm okay. And so Ghanaians should die. No, I need to cry for my brothers and sisters back home. Because look, when the suffering comes, and that's why I always put it, we shall all suffer, but some will suffer more than others. Kofi Ali said he's been in UK since he was 17 or 18. Probably he had been able to bring most of his family members here. I have been in UK few years ago.
Whether or not he was here in the UK, he said he fled from Ghana when he was 17.
So probably he had been able to, take some of his family to other countries and all that. So they are living somewhere. I don't have most of my families here. So if Ghana is in distress, I will suffer more than Kofi Ali because he has more of his family outside Ghana than me, who has most of my.
I get your analysis, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I always say we shall all suffer, but some will suffer more than others. And so it is proper and important on our part to scream as hard as we can so that we can talk to the listening ears of our president and our leaders. And nobody is saying when NDC comes or when CPP comes or when Mr. Kitiosin is made president, he's going to bring Jesus Christ to come and stay in Ghana and milk is going to come free. Nobody's saying that. No. Things are going to be hard under any president. But you see, there has to be a certain level.
Govern the country to the best of this or yeah.
In governance, there is what we call attributes of governance. And those attributes, we need to see it being manifested.
Let me read this message on Facebook. This is coming from Raymond Mackman. First of all, he wanted to know if Mr. Tegbe Rasche is related to the former finance minister. And then he said also chances are that the NDC might come back to power. Can Mr. Tegbe convey this message to the NDC hierarchy that we don't need more than 90 ministers to serve the country in the government, please? Okay, thank you. Noted, sir. Yeah, go on.
So some of the attributes of governance is what this tester or whoever sent that message is talking about. He is saying we don't need more than 90 ministers. And what the government or whoever is coming needs to do is to do what? Listen and heed to that cry. And that is one of the attributes. You need to be a listening government. You need to have a feeling. You need to be sensitive. And so we are only saying that, yes, John Mahama, Papa Kwesindum, Akufo-Addo can come to the throne to become the president. All that we are saying is you cannot give us everything, but at least listen to us. At least where there are issues, we need to fix it. Where people are being paid and they are not paying taxes because there's no proper regulation regulating all these things. I remember when I finished secondary school, this morning I was thinking about it and I was laughing. I was paid 15 Ghana. When I finished secondary school, I was teaching, and every Friday it's in the envelope, and they are giving it to me. No tax, nothing. So you understand. So all these things needs to be regulated. This is what we are saying. That look, when a president comes, it is not a matter of I said I want to do free education, so I'm doing free education. Whether it is going to bring down Ghana's financial curtain down or what, I don't care. I'm doing it because I said I'll do it. There has to be a proper planning. There are people who voted you there. You are responsible to them. You need to answer to them. Listen to their cry. Okay, the free SHS, you are doing it. But this is how it's going. That is why we have a class of people who are expert. So they will advise you, Mr. President, yeah, free education, you are bringing it. But if you do it this way, if you do it that way, that will save Ghana this. You listen to them. This is what we are asking for. Look, doctor, I am saying when the Sewa Bruni issue came, I am saying in UK, Boris Johnson, how many women has he had children with? A lot, about 4 or 5 women. About 4, at least, about 4, at least. If I'm wrong, and it will not be less than 3. But you see, when your minimum wage, when every Friday or every month you are paid, who cares about Boris Johnson having an affair with 10 women?
Nobody cares about that.
You understand? So if everything is good, who cares about Sewa Bruni when the president wants to have fun?
That's what it bothers us. Yeah.
You understand? These issues are very petty and it's on our lips today because what are we going to talk about? We are only going to talk about the president when we are suffering. He is having fun. He is having a jamboree. Now Coolio is dead, so probably he's going to go there and sing paradise. What's the name? Gangsters paradise with him in America. That's
I,
what the
I
president
see your
thinks
era.
about.
I see your era when you became very active entertainer.
You see, well, you see, so doctor, Mr. Kofi Ali, all that we are trying to say when we talk about compromise, and you see, this is why I have problem with Mr. Kofi Ali. He contradicts himself, and probably he doesn't know. He needs to be educated on that. Because look, you cannot be sitting down here talking about ECOWAS, talking about AU, yet you want us to forget about our identity. Today, people are reading about Pluto and whatever philosophy and all that. Can't we have? And I have said, if Africa, if Ghana, for instance, if Ghana wants to be proper, if Ghana wants to achieve a target, we need to have an education which should be named after Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah's education, something like Kwame Nkrumah's sociology or Kwame Nkrumah's philosophy, something, an education entirely about only Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and nobody else. Because I cannot be reading about Pluto or reading about whoever and think I can. Kwame Nkrumah is the epitome of the black man's achieving its higher height. Kwame Nkrumah is the symbol of a black man attaining that height where he is feared. Kwame Nkrumah was feared, and that is why they killed him. Kwame Nkrumah was feared. That's why they tried to compare Mandela to him. So if we are saying we are Nkrumahs, we should be proud. There is no gangsterism or there is no criminality about calling yourself an Nkrumahs. Look, this is the only man on earth. And Mr. Kofi Ali, please, if your father was the only man who died and heads of states carried him, would you not be happy? Would you not celebrate him?
But I'm very happy. What's the name? I'll come back later. You go and I forgot. I wanted to say something.
What we are saying is that Kwame Nkrumah, what he did, Kwame Nkrumah built motorway when Britain did not even have a dream of building a motorway. He's a black man. Yes, he's a black man. We need to celebrate him. A lot of the things, the EU today we have was kind of copied from Nkrumah's ideology of forming the African Union. The EU today that we are proud of, and Italians and everything they are all proud of, was copied. It was stolen, not even copied, stolen from Nkrumah's ideology of forming the African Union. And so we need to be proud, and we need to educate more Ghanaians to feel happy and pride themselves as Nkrumahs. In that, we can transform their minds, we can transform their lives into thinking. Now look, you don't come into government to steal. Today, as we speak, doctor, today, nobody, and I put my life on it, nobody can go to anywhere in the world and point to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's property of what he stole money for to go and buy us. Nobody. That is what we are talking about. So if I say I'm Nkrumahs, if I say I am Nkrumahs, I am infusing that idea into myself that I am not going to go into politics to steal, because my father, who is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, my grandmother, who is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, my grandfather, my uncle, my auntie, my everything, who is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, did not steal when Ghanaians gave him the opportunity to lead. He only improved the lives of Ghanaians. And so it is not any crime. The thing is that, and where we get it wrong, borrowing is not wrong. Borrowing, and even in Kwame Nkrumah's time, you will know that he borrowed at some point.
Everybody borrows.
This country, America, they borrow. Britain, they borrow. Borrowing is not wrong. Where it is wrong is where the borrowing doesn't see any results. Because if you are borrowing to consume, doctor, if you tell me you are having a birthday party and now you are going to Barclays Bank to borrow £10,000 to come and organize birthday party, the next morning your children will wake up and they will ask you for something. But if you borrow to invest in your children's education or invest in something that will bring back money for you to pay, that is not a bad idea. So what we are saying is that, and I think he diverted from the question you posed to him about Amwakoba's statement, and he was always ranting about NDC. It is not the NDC that is in power. It is not the NDC. It is the MPP. And Nana Akufo-Addo, when he says this should come, it will come. When he said this should go, it will go. He has the authority, he has the power. So what we are saying is that the borrowing that you've had, what has happened to it? The amount of money you've had, where is it? What can you show for it? And then to add insult into injury, or to add salt to injury, or whatever you people call it, you don't even care. You don't care.
That's the problem.
Very insensitive, very petty. Very petty. He's angry. When you call him Sakawa, he's angry. You call pastors to tell them, look, they are calling me Sakawa. Are you not Sakawa? If you are not listening to people, if you are stealing the state money, yeah. Recently, his wife was buying hundreds of thousands of bag, worth of bag. Akufo-Addo's wife. At this time, you don't even show that level of, how the sympathy. You don't show that level of sympathizing with Ghanaians and having that compassion.
It's 12 o'clock now.
This is where they exhibit their profligacy. This is where Akufo-Addo attends Kelly Jadapo's birthday and he's come on.
It's the same thing. What's his name? Sam George was dancing a huge party.
You see it. So if an NDC member comes to condemn Akufo-Addo today for going to a birthday party, I will bring the Sam George issue. And you see, this is why I get vindicated.
That is the honesty I like about you. You know, you wouldn't say it because you have to do that, and then you still bring it when they have
time. Because none of us, doctor. Let us put politics aside. None of us here will hear that their mother or their father or their brother or sister is dying at the hospital and they will go ahead to organize a birthday party when they cannot get money to pay for, to buy medicine to cater for their mother. Who will do that? And so we need to, whatever you wish on your enemy, you try to taste it to see whether it is good or bad before you wish it on someone. And when COVID came, a lot of people said, look, this is the kind of disease or sickness I will not even wish on my enemy. So they felt it and they know that, look, this is really bad. And so we need to live according to what we say. I will not come here as Joe and come and lambast Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo, lambast Ken Ofori-Atta, and then when I get into power, I bring my brother, my mother, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my auntie, then you are a hypocrite. The time has come that lying our way to get power is gone. We need to show compassion. We need to feel the pain of the people. We need to have Kwame Nkrumah in our heart. We need to have Kwame Nkrumah in our thinking. We need to have Kwame Nkrumah in everything that we are doing. Let us elevate the man. Do you know that in Cuba they have a statue of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? Do you know that? Yet Kofi Ali sit down here. When I say I'm in Nkrumah, he has a problem with it. In Cuba, they have statue of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. You see, this is why I get, sometimes in a banter with Kofi Ali, because you cannot be crying for AU or EU without bringing Kwame Nkrumah in. He is the father of this, the greatest black man who ever lived and has ever lived. He lives in our hearts. We will never forget about him and nothing. And you see, Mr. Kitty Austin said something that they formed an alliance with Kufuor. Kufuor came to beg them because he saw something good in Kwame Nkrumah. So he came to Kwame Nkrumah's children and said, look, your grandfather was a very good man. He did everything. And so we are coming to beg you, come and join us. About 2 weeks ago, you heard what Kufuor said when Kofi Adoma went to interview him. He said Kwame Nkrumah was worse and that he had no plan into building factories when Ghana didn't have money. You see?
Okay.
You see? There's a saying that you don't bite the hand that feed you. The man that you people lent your support to. Look at what he's saying about your father today. If Kwame Nkrumah was bad, why did he come to Kwame Nkrumah's children for help? You understand? These people are a bunch of ingrates. Yes. And that's why I have problem with MPP and its supporters. Because to them, nothing about any other person is good. It is only about them. Okay. Nothing about any other person. And Mr. Kitty Austin, please, Rollins. So the idea was only to get Rollins out of the way. That was the idea. It was not about bringing any policy that was going to bring anything good to Ghana. Look, Kwame Nkrumah, he is peerless. I don't even want to compare him. But after Kwame Nkrumah, if you talk about electrification going to rural areas, you cannot mention it without Jerry John Rollins. Kwame Nkrumah used money that was given him to build a house in KNUST. The Queen's House or something like that. One of the accommodations there with a cock on it, with a hen on it. Is it
I don't remember, it's skipped me. But
Rollins also used a gift he gained, a gift that was given him to build UDS. And you were telling me you joined Kufo because you wanted to get rid of. And when Kufo came, what did you do? To build toilets. Someone was building university. You wanted to get rid of him and then to bring in someone who was going to build toilets. Is that the idea that CPP went into alliance with the MPP for?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. With people who build universities, you Rollins, talk about polytechnics. You cannot mention polytechnics of Ghana without mentioning Rollins. You cannot talk of rural electrification without mentioning Rollins. You cannot talk of bringing people. Look, one thing about visionary, and sometimes we for one last statement, then I'm done.
Yeah,
one thing we forget when we talk about visionary leaders is we only talk about probably the infrastructure. Oh, John Mahama is visionary because he built infrastructure, because he knew that in 20 years' time, Ghana will have a housing deficit. So, but you see, it is one thing building infrastructure, and it is one thing, doctor, seeing something good in someone and bringing that person up.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Rollins brought Atamans. Today, we saw the things Atamans did. Rollins brought John Mahama. We've seen what John Mahama is doing. So how can you tell me the man who brought you is not visionary, but you who came, you are visionary than the man? How can you? It's like the Supreme Court saying the birth certificate that gave birth to the passport is not recognized, but the passport is recognized. How can we say that? How?
All right, so Joe, I think I'm going to leave it here. Mr. Kofi Ali,
thank you.
What you left off. You must have had one or two to add to earlier, because I decided to join you back on the conversation. You were saying something about, our leaders and the two parties being the main possible party that are going to come back. Now, Ms. Kitiosin has made a lot of noise about the PPP, where she assumes that should they emerge together with the little parties like the CPP, they can still come back. I don't see the feasible of that.
You see, in politics, it is the right of any people. And remember, this is why in our constitution, we added the clause multinational party.
Right.
That no one will impose one party state on the people of the Republic of Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
It's enshrined in our constitution. Do you understand?
I do understand, yes.
By default, we've ended up with NDC and NPP. And the only reason why the NDC and NPP are having a field day over us, like I told you, there are two bunch of contractors. Behind them are the crowd that they have created, who make empty noise. Do you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to NDC, right, you check the way they operate, go to NPP. There are the noisemakers who they are down there like the Jews. They go and make too much noise on the television and radio. Bang, 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 bang. The real guys are up there. They are loaded. You see how they play the game?
Okay.
So, but when you have a group of people who think these people are not doing right, and they also coming in, we can even have 1 million. So, Kitiosin and all every other person, they are right. They should work together. Even do you remember there was time I was making noise about Ghana Poor People's Party? You remember very well. Maybe you don't know me at that time. Those who know you will tell you.
Okay. Tell us.
So that I've cleared that area about all this coming up. It is a game of who can bribe the chiefs more. And we have these guys, the chiefs are in their pocket. In Ghana now, you can. There was even a story Kitiosin always give, and I can't help laughing.
Okay.
You want your community, say Papa Kwesi went to your community, and they need a borehole. And Papa Kwesi want to dig the borehole for them. The borehole the state is supposed to be digging, he went to dig it for them. Because others have been doing that. When the election came, they went to vote for people who didn't dig borehole for them. But you guys, I came to even dig a borehole for you so that you have decent water. And I will have done that when I become a president. When you vote for me. They actually didn't vote for me. They voted for this and NPP. Then you see. So it's a story Kate Johnson has said before, and when I listen to him, I laugh that there's more to this NDC and NPP
Yes.
than the ordinary way of looking at it. Like I said, but let me stop there. I want to tell Joe, my brother, something.
Okay, he's listening.
I don't hate Joe.
Okay.
I can never, because I've learned something. One of our biggest problems on the so-called African continent is hate, black and white. Mm-hmm. And it all comes from how we narrate our history to our children. Right. You can make history an instrument of solving a problem. Can you see?
Oh,
but first, you must turn it into what people will like. If you turn history into what people hate, it will create hatred. And when you hate something, you can never benefit from what you hate. How can you learn from your teacher if you hate the teacher? How can you understand mathematics if you hate mathematics? Yes. How can you gain from education, school, if you hate school? Can you see?
Yeah.
There is a kind of that problem on the African continent where we talk about the black and the white and our history and why we should hate the white people. Hate them. When you hate this people and they the whites, I mean behind that idea of hate, slave trade, colonization, but these people, they know how to do things right. Most of what we do is wrong. Is that not true?
It is.
Who is borrowing money from who? Who is borrowing? Are they borrowing money from us or we are borrowing money from
We are borrowing money.
So good. They are those who give us charity. They give us benefit. They give us, in fact, our leaders, they control all of us. They control us and they through our leaders. So there is something about these people we need to learn. But we have not figured it out.
What is that?
And what we do, they are behind this hate. Let us hate them. The queen is dead. She keeps slaves. She keeps this. She keeps that. She sold all Ghana gold. You see all these things going on.
There's a playback of the documentary of the queen. Yeah.
Now let me come back to Joe.
Okay, you're listening.
The game
since you're talking to Joe, could you excuse me 1 minute? You go on. I am just trying to get something. Okay, go on.
I want to touch on something, not Joe. You know, remember there was something he said about panic.
Yeah, Mr. Ofiali, go on 1 minute. I just wanted to wake up, get something from the kitchen. So go on. Joe is listening.
Yeah,
1 minute.
There was something he said about Kofi Ali and Kwame Nkrumah, and we are not building state costs for Kwame Nkrumah. Africa don't even value him. He's somebody we should be watching. This is exactly what the Christians do. Everywhere in the name of Jesus. If it's not Jesus, it's Muhammad. Muhammad. You wake up Muhammad, you sleep Muhammad, you die Muhammad, you are angry Muhammad. Do you know this is the music the churches are also doing? Can you notice that? So we should be dancing and dying and crying Kwame Nkrumah. Why? Because there was once upon a time one young man who suffered injustice, and he went back after going through the sea, traveled to Lagos, through the look at that time, went to do the way from Lagos to come to Europe. The way he ended up in Liverpool Street, only to Liverpool before he went to America. You remember the story of this poor young man? All he wanted to do is justice, to change his destiny. Has that changed? To looking at the Kaya you and a 6-month-old baby boy beside her sleeping at Malata Market. Has that changed? I'm asking you, then what Kwame Nkrumah wanted to change? Has that changed? Hello? If that has not changed, instead of we being busy of how to change the thing, you are saying we should be crying and worshiping the man who tried to make the change. We've not got to where we've not got to the promised land. And you say somebody did very well in taking us closer to the promised land. Are we there?
No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
So if we're not there, then maybe he's one of the heroes, but he's not the one.
Mr. William Osabuti has sent a message.
It's not born yet. Let us stop settling down for the half. And let me even come to what I hate most. There are two things with my brother Joe. And the reason why I talk about Joe, his message comes with certain information that are very critical. There are two of them.
Okay.
One, he mentioned this free education thing, isn't it? Remember? And he also mentioned that government and development is not one man's job. He's the one who was solving the problem, but he has not finished it, and somebody came to continue. So we should, isn't it? Do you recall that? Do you agree with me that when you are going to build a house, you don't build half a house. You have a reason why you are going to build a house. Is that not true?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you go to farming. When you go to farming, and this is what politics must be about, you want to plant within the time, grow them, harvest, and eat. Because that is the purpose of the farming. You are not going to plant for somebody to come and say, I started the planting, so that one is the one doing the eating, so I was the one who you should be thanking. No. Indeed, there may be some of the things that you may not finish in your time, but most of your job is to complete it. If you are building housing this thing, you should make sure that within your time, people are living there. You don't leave empty houses in the bush and you expect somebody, and then you'll be blaming someone. Now, let's come to education.
Yeah.
This free education thing. I don't know. You know, when the NDC was there, their slogan is that they want to finish building the schools. Mahama is building when he finish building the school, as if anyone will finish building school. Can you see? Then we'll get all the children to go to the school.
Right.
But what they don't realize, this man came and said, no. You see that girl that is on the street walking, pulling, and somebody has impregnated her.
I think your friend Mr. Osa have sent you a message. He said NDC MPP are all thieves in disguise. It went on to say that people goes into politics to loot and acquire wealth for themselves.
Well, sometimes we're calling people thieves, like I do as well.
Not to serve.
It doesn't take us to where we want to go.
Well, he said not
we
to serve
are not enemies. We all have a problem and we are trying to solve it. Let's work together.
Well,
the language of it. I'm preaching against it. So let us be example, like Joe will say, Kofi Ali, be the example of what you are preaching. And I agree with him. Let me take it from there.
Okay.
You see, they are contractors, no doubt, and they are benefiting from the situation, no doubt. But probably that is how it goes for now,
right?
Until we figure it out. There is something I'm trying to say here. A child is born to go to school, isn't it? And there's the age the child has to go to school. And you are having a generation of children coming. Right. They are on the street too. Because when we are talking about free education, we are talking about children whose parents cannot afford the education. Is that not true? So when you are saying you don't want the free education, what you are technically saying is that people can afford it too. So those on the street can actually afford to pay for the school. So when it's not free, they are actually going to the school and they were paying for it. That is the argument here. You understand me? But this man came to say that, and they are saying there's no money. Hey, when there's no money, how do you pay Rollins and his family? You know, we pay Akufo. You know that. We pay them. And even Akufo-Addo, all those people who call themselves politicians, where do they get the money from? Is it not Ghana government who pay them?
Of course.
If they are working and their work is productive, by now, we should not be borrowing money. Why are we borrowing money if they are working? Adi, is it a lie?
No lie.
We vote for you to come and develop us to make our nation great. You are developed when every day you go about IMF, you are borrowing every day. Every day you go borrowing, you go begging, you go borrowing, you go begging. You say you are working. You send your children to Europe. They pay school fees in dollar and pound sterling. We don't have money. But when it comes to the poor man, the NDC is saying that Ghana don't have money. This man then came to say, no. The population on the street is too much. Whatever we are going to do, whatever money is there, let us put them into the school. Whether they're school or not, let's keep them busy. Do you blame that kind of man?
Well, no way.
Do you know that me, Kofi Ali, I went to free school? When I left Ghana, West Africa Secondary School, and me and New Osabuti.
I know that. At least I know that.
We were made, from what he's saying, the same time was when I was in WAS. I left in 83.
Oh, wow. That was when the
revolution was on.
What I'm trying to bring up, ask us how much were we even paying for school fees? How much? And when I got to Nigeria, education was free. I left that place with BSc in economics. Because when I left Ghana, it became a problem that what happened to my education? I was going to Europe. Because that was what every young man at that time was doing in Ghana. Is that not true? So I was doing what everyone else was doing. Half my colleagues in West Africa. Every day there's demonstration. Every day there's strike. You go to staff common room. Teachers are sitting there. They are not coming to class to teach for one reason or the other. So I just felt my future and all my friends are gone. So I also picked my bag one day and ran away. My father was annoyed, but I did it. You understand me? Now let's move forward. I went to a school in, Kanda.
I know Kanda very well.
On the ring road near the GBC at that time. The whole place was almost.
I went to the GBC, so I know.
Do you know that we were even given books? Books. They give us, we are as a class prefect, we have cardboards. They give us pens, they give us books, they give us everything we need.
All that is changed.
90% of the children in Nima went to school because of that. Most of us, our mothers were selling granite. They carry it. They work from morning to night. Imagine somebody walk from Nima to Accra with granite on the head, 37, and Medina with granite on the head. Do you? If not because of this Saito school, most of us wouldn't have gone to school.
Right.
Today, someone like Joe will sit down and somebody show that we are busy, no money. Government officials, today they steal money, tomorrow they travel to abroad, tomorrow they go and demonstrate, and they are fooling around. And he come to say that whatever happened, if you vote for me, apart from going to build a shrine for the devil, I'm also going to give free education, and all children will be in school as much as we can put them. If the child is in school, pregnancy goes down. Do you realize that? Yes, because they have hope and future. Ghana today, you go, you see these children with items on their head everywhere at all. In fact, during the time NDC was there was one region, almost 168 within a period of 1 year became pregnant children. You see, so the NDC, this idea of this free education, and they fail it and they hate it and they don't want it. Actually, NDC is supposed to be the party of the people, the party of the masses, the party of the poor, the party of revolution, the party that cares. If you care, will you be saying cash in hand before you get health care?
That's
cash
too bad.
in hand, cash and
So,
carry.
Doc.
Yes.
Yeah, hello, Doc. Can you hear me?
I can hear you live.
Yeah, I think it is better you correct him. The NDC has not opposed the free education, so it's better you let him know, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
People will tell you we are capitalists.
You have 2 minutes so that you listen to a reaction to your statement when you listen.
Thank
to
you.
the other line.
So, my brother Joe, this thing they call Africa, I really don't understand it. If it's not about development, if it's not about education, it's about food for everyone, it's about dressing like human beings and stopping all this rubbish we do all over the place. Everybody dress the way they like. If what is formal has been thrown to the dogs. One person go and talk nonsense in a radio station in that way you like. Some people tell you, who come to our land, they're looking for you to kill you and chase you up and down. What kind of a country is this? We need to wake up. My version of Africa must be Africa like China, that is taking a destiny to her own hand. Do you know how many people Kwame Nkrumah sent to Europe to go and learn how to sew suit and tie? Do you know?
Right. You have 1 minute, Mr. Fraley. So you're
and
going
then
to
they come and tell us because
side.
Kwame Nkrumah on independence, they were Fugu. So we should go about with Fugu.
Okay, so on the other hand, NDC did not categorically oppose free education. I think as a way these parties going about it, perhaps they thought they had a way of doing
from they are changing their position. The NDC originally, I was standing there when Muhammad came to this place. I was here when late Atamisa came here. They were totally against the free education. And they had their pastors, doctor, whatever that man, and then Mensa, who went to loot a whole bank. All these people, I can't imagine in the name of God for someone to say that your nation want to give you education, which is a fundamental need. Education unlock the potential, it turn a human being into a real person, a modern man.
All right, thank
and
you.
you ask these people to say they even have reservation. What most of us were saying is that if the cost, when you come to boarding house, you understand, is because you feed. When you are feeding children in school, it can be a challenge. There's no doubt about that. Can you see? It can be a challenge. Some of them started changing their position that maybe we should close down the boarding houses and everyone must go to day school like they do in UK here, and you can give more children education. Can you see? Because the boarding facilities increase the money. And let those who have got money send their children to the boarding house. That's their business.
Okay.
Can you see?
Thank you.
That is the compromise the NDC is trying to make now, which makes sense. Originally, they kick against the whole thing. Why? Because Mahama has not finished building the schools. And he's borrowing money to fill the schools. So Nimangota, ordinary Nimangota, they are going to build money to build. Can't you have common sense to put mortar and clay together and put gutter to go?
Well, it all needs money. It all needs money to be done anyway. Thank you. All right, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah, Doc, he's making me laugh, you know. You see, Doc, we as a country, we should not just be saying education.
It's not making sense at this stage because I'm saying that now at the end of the day, if you say common what they need to do,
it needs money. Yeah, there is no common mortar anywhere in this world. You see, but the point is that it's not because the country needs to be educated, and for that matter, we embark on just any form of education. The education has to be meaningful, and the education has to have an impact on the individual. So if we are having education where individuals are not impacted, where communities are not impacted positively, what's the essence of that education? And the NDC had always said, look, we are not in total objection of these free SHS. All we are saying is do it progressively. And Doc, we've all seen the argument the NDC were making. We've all seen it. Today, it stares us in the face. It stares us. I am not against free education. I didn't have the opportunity to be educated freely. And so I know the problems people go through when they have to pay school fees. Even myself, sometimes I need to be sacked to go, and my father is not at home, my mom is not there. You need to stay at home for 1 week. And so it is good for government to kind of intervene. But the point is that when you are intervening and it is going to be more burdensome to the pupil itself and to the nation itself, then it is not good. Today, he's talking about pregnancy levels. Maybe he has not checked the record today. Today, under free SHS, children who are into this free education are getting more pregnant than they used to go during that time that you're referring to. Because the child go for 2 months and they say it's red light now. So red light, you go home. Yellow light has to get ready. Green light has to go. So until the green light goes for his or her 3 months, yellow goes for 3 months. Before it comes to you, red. So before that, you have stayed at home for 6 months.
That's
the 6 months, what do you want the child to do?
Tell me.
Play Ludo or Ampe. Yes, he will go for a boy. And the fact is, there are no jobs as well. So even when he is at home, if the parents had money, they would engage the services of extra, curriculum teachers and all that, to kind of help. The parents are jobless. There's no job. And when there's no job, the child has to fend for him or herself.
That's
you understand? Right. So it is not a matter of because you brought free education, and for that matter, we should all clap and be jumping like monkeys everywhere, left, right, and center, and be happy because a banana has been thrown to me. No way. We need to engage the system. We need to interrogate it. We need to know what this thing is going to bring. Now, he's talking about the fact that someone has education or someone has been to school does not determine that the person is going to be successful or not. There are so many millions of people who are educated walking on the street of Accra. He himself attested to the fact that some people who are dog chain sellers on the streets are educated. So it is not necessarily that the fact that you sit in a classroom of St. Augustine's College or Prempeh or Infantepim, you are going to be the president of Ghana. It doesn't work like that. Husband, which school did he go? Which qualification does he hold? Osei Kwame Despa, which qualification does he hold?
Mm.
You understand? It is just that our system, and for me, sometimes, Doc, yes,
Yeah.
I am speaking English today because probably I was educated, a little bit educated. But sometimes, if I knew this is how the system is, I would have started doing business with all my school fees money than going to school.
Mm.
Yes, if I knew this is how the system is, if I had me nowadays, if anyone who complete JSS, I tell them, look, you can write your name, is that right? You say you can at least read and write, is that right? I say, look, learn a trade than going to school.
Oh,
Learn
dear.
a trade. Yes, honestly, this is the advice even my family members
That,
who have
that could
kids
be
and all that.
another option, especially if the school fails you. Mm.
Yeah, because look, it's not just a matter of it being another option if school fails you. The point of the matter is that those who are educated, where are they going? Where is the job?
Oh, dear.
But if you learn a trade, if you are a plumber, if you are an electrician, there is handiwork. Wherever you go, you carry it with you. You're not going to look for any government to come in to set up a business before you get employed. Every Ghanaian wants to work at a bank and put on a tie and all that. Everybody wants to work.
But
How
you
many
see,
banks do
people
we have?
don't understand that once you're doing some handiwork, whether it's a trade or not, that is your office.
Exactly.
That's your
Exactly. So for me, I'm learning a lot, and so I've come to that realization. If I in this country, Doc, you live here, you know that the plumbers, the electricians, they are rich.
Oh, yeah.
They are rich by virtue of what they do. You know, how many of us come here with your qualification from Legon, from Tech, from UCC? What do you do? What do you do apart from doing care, warehousing, and cleaning and all that? What do you do?
No white or color job. Yes, true.
You understand? So it is not just a matter of we saying education, and so every education someone has brought free SHS, and so it is good. And
Especially
see,
now
that is another man's thinking. Education, free SHS is education. But before you go to free SHS, there is something there, or there is nothing there.
Of course.
And after free SHS, there is something there, or there is nothing there. And all of a sudden, free SHS, so Akufo-Addo has given us education. So when you finish, you jump from your mother's womb, you go to free SHS, and then you are done. You are a professor.
No,
it don't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
Work like that. So we need to look at it holistically. And I appreciate the fact that Akufo-Addo has introduced the free SHS, which I say, look, governance is a continuous thing. Akufo-Addo has brought it. Now we are faced with the reality. We've seen that there are challenges. It is up to the next coming government to look at the challenges, not to destroy the system entirely. Look at where the challenges are, face the challenges, and where it needs some amendments and some reshuffling and some reviewing. We review it and we put in what we think is the best boat and not to kind of screw the thing to make it tight, and then we make it tight, and it's a national asset for all of us to enjoy. You cannot tell me that NHS here does not have problems. It has problems, but they are trying to fix, juggle here, there, and there, and then they fix it bit by bit to make it is their national treasure. They treasure it, and that is why when they are going to a trade with America, hey, we don't want to trade off our NHS. Despite all the problems, they still treasure that NHS. It has to be like that with the free SHS. There are challenges. Let us accept that there are challenges. And the government has to come clear. It is no matter of me Akufo-Addo and Ghana school. Look, Ghanaians were going to school before Akufo-Addo came.
Of course.
And in fact, free SHS was started before Akufo-Addo came. But you see, on the survey or they share the manifesto, platform. So that is what we don't see. Yeah, but let us look at it in a positive way. And look, doctor, in as much as we or sometimes we go crazy and we insult people and we are mad because of the issue of calling NDC MPP are all criminals, I don't think it's one thing that kind of kind of justifies the situation. Doc, today, John Mahama, when he was in power, he was labeled all sorts of names. He's bought a hotel in Dubai. Kennedy Japan said a lot of them. Who has been able to adduce evidence to that effect. And in fact, who is in power now? The one in power now can arrest John Mahama today, if he was a criminal. Who has done that? So when we come in and we say they are all criminals, where is your evidence?
That is it.
Where is your evidence? And that is why me, doctor, I am saying this on your radio. If NDC come, Kenoforiata, Gabi, Bedieto, and even the president himself is not taken to court, me, doctor, I'll go naked on the street of UK. I'm being honest with you. Because look, these are people we have seen. And by the activities, if a president signs a contract and he says he was misled, he needs to go to court to show who misled him to sign that contract, that agreement. Because look, if he has signed the agreement and the terms in the agreement said that Ghanaians ought to be killed in 2 years, we would have all been killed by now.
Oh dear.
If a health minister goes to buy a vaccine and the vaccine was made with DDT to kill Ghanaians, would have all been dead by now. And so all these people need to, the PDS scandal, the PPA, Procurement Authority scandal and all that. And even the Sewa Bruni issue, we need to revisit it because Sewa Bruni alleged that the president is running an armed robbery gang in the Flagstaff House. And so the president and Sewa Bruni has to come to court to answer. These are the things I'm looking for. Look, I am saying, look, doctor,
yes.
For me, I want that if you, doctor, is made the president,
okay,
don't go and look at Ghana's problem and put on your neck. And that is why probably I agree with Mr. Kofi Ali to a bit. That look, you cannot be saying you want to solve all of Ghana's problems. So you go here, you touch this bit, you touch that bit, you touch that bit. You're not going to end up anywhere. When you go, if it is a gutter you came to construct, you construct all your gutters 4 years ago. Let someone also come and put bridges. Yeah. And so for me, if the NDC will come and just arrest the criminals from our system, I'll be happy. For 4 years, I'll be happy. Because you know why? Someone will sit in his house and say, what kind of nonsense is this guy talking about? Look, it is going to deter the future president. And it is going to inform his decisions when he comes to power.
Yeah.
Because if the MPP came and truly there were criminals in the NDC and they had arrested them rigorously, and in this case, look, whether you are with your pregnant wife or whatever, we come and grab you and take you straight into the jail, I'll be happy. Because look, in that sense, whoever is in Akufo-Addo's government now, stealing. Yesterday, I saw a post that the bodyguard of President Akufo-Addo, the wealth he has amassed within these 6 years, a regional minister cannot boast of those wealth. Yes. He has built a school or something for he went to the chief imam to, donate to but it's good if they are stealing to build hospitals for the communities. That is good anyway. But the point is, the houses, the properties, the bodyguard of Akufo-Addo has acquired within these 6 years. But is that a wonder? Because his typewriter has bought half of Accra. The typewriter of Akufo-Addo owns half of Accra. And so what I'm saying is, if John Mahama comes and arrests all these criminals, if I also go and follow Dr. Papa Kwesindum or like Mr. Kitio said,
you do the same.
And then also I am given the position to become a minister. I will say, hey, some time ago when those who stole in Akufo-Addo's government, the way the NDC treated them, if I steal, my parents will all be, put in jail. So let me stay at my one corner and do the right thing.
And think about yourself.
That will save Ghanaians a lot of money. Because most of the things that are happening now, the reason why we are broke is because of corruption. Because of all this criminal thing we are engaging. Look, if we were to have, we cannot have a corruption-free country.
Let me have Mr. Kofi Ali. Welcome back, sir. I'm sure you want to react to what Mr. Joe is saying.
To be honest with you, on this issue of education, I think it's a subject we need to sit down and talk about properly.
My worry is just the face that was changed to the SS system. You remember Arisoya, when now within 3 years you go to university. Well, don't get me wrong, some might exceptionally good.
You see,
But if
a
you look
lot
at
of what Joe said is a bit challenging. And unfortunately, it's like playing football. They say play the ball, don't play the man.
right,
In politics, let us play the ball. So I don't like when I find myself saying Joe said or Joe did. It's a subject we need to be talking about.
okay,
But sometimes it's difficult to leave the man, to leave the ball, to leave the man and play the ball.
that's why you
Sometimes
call
you
him
find
Joe as
yourself
well.
weeding out the man, even when the referee will blow it up.
Okay,
I want Joe to understand very well. Any man who says education is not necessary, it's like a person saying the eye you used to see is useless. And any man who says education is expensive, they tell you to try ignorance. What is more painful is to have a person who is educated turning around to say education is bad. And that,
But doctor, you need to let him know that there are levels of education. Education is not just about speaking English. That's one thing
who has come to United Kingdom.
okay,
Based on the education he got in Ghana, the basic education, there are so many things he's able to do. And he didn't come here to start like somebody from Somalia going to night school to start learning how. He didn't write his own name. This young man has come into a country and is up there, at least security. And he's turning around to say that those privileges, the advantage he had, because one man called Kwame Despite has got some money fictitiously, nobody knows where they get their money from because the Asante chief is behind them and they pump money at them. He's rich and therefore education is useless. This man just said that on air, maybe you didn't hear it. What Joe doesn't understand, and he used that phrase, which I do hear them using, and he said that it must be progressive. It is in the Constitution of Ghana, 1992 Constitution, that there must and shall be free and basic education. The definition, what is education? What is free basic education? Compulsory. Can you see? When you say something must be compulsory by force in terms of education, compulsory, you mean whether the person who is to benefit or who should be involved has money or not, he must be given that thing. But the Constitution then said it must be progressive. So we are going to start with nursery. Then, because at that time there was no money to engage in it suddenly, can you see? Then we move to what? To JSS, then the senior secondary school. It must be absolutely free. The Constitution did not say that secondary school is part of it. Private school is part of it too. The Constitution understands we shall have private school for those who want a higher quality of education for their children. But the state shall provide. When the Constitution says something, it means it's something the state, the government of Ghana must do. Can you understand? The thing was delayed. They didn't say university education must be free. University and polytechnic, you understand? They are not basic. You don't need it.
Even here, it's not free. I mean, whatever basic, you have it free. You go to the university.
What you need as basic is for you to have, at the age of 16, 17 years, you finish your education. You understand? It's basic. It prepares you for other things. And if you can, sometimes you get scholarship. Sometimes your parents can afford it. You go. Can you see? But the basic one, which is SS, must be free.
Doctor, SS is not basic. SS is not a basic education. SS, let him know, please. Please let him know. The basic is the primary. The SS is not a basic.
SS is a secondary school. It's not basic anyway. So when you talk about primary basics, that's fine, but not SS or secondary school.
Secondary school, SS, even when you are 18, it must be free.
Oh, it
when
must
you
be.
are 19, it must be free because if you go by the modern way of education, where whether you pass or not, they make you continue. You understand? It doesn't matter. Your age is what they use, and you finish. That's what they do here. This is a developed nation where the money is where people are rich and they can pay the school fees of their children because the salary, like Joe will tell you, is good. Can you see? Basic education is free and is compulsory. And that is when you are in SSO, equivalent. Can you see? Then when these people came, they said, all of us as politicians, our children go to this private school. We can afford it. The majority of the people cannot afford it. So before they get to JSS, they drop out. Why? Because they are charged. And what makes this particular set of people a bit different is that they went on to see even the hidden charges and the Nana Ajiman. Because when Nana Ajiman was managing the school, you understand, Professor Nana Ajiman, the state was not giving her money. So she decided to do what we call improvise. So in the school, there's a way they find a way to make parents pay. Can you see?
Okay.
And it's innovative, but most cannot afford. Even primary, even babies, children, they were paying. But what choice has she? Because the money is not there.
No.
The state doesn't have. So now there are two issues here. How do we deal with poverty? Because if we can't collect tax and we don't have revenue for the state cannot finance education. Is that not true?
That's right.
It's like healthcare. It's like housing. When you have a country with 85% of what we consume are imported, you see. But it is better to educate the child, at least let him have the basic. Even during the time of Rawlings, a lot of people went through that system. A lot. It is when they are going beyond essence, they can't afford it, so they drop out. Can you see?
Yes.
Now, it's better to have a person educated. And maybe there will be job. The fact that the state has educated you is not saying the state must compulsorily give you job. Can you see? The issue of job, of course, is the duty of the state to work hard for her citizens to have jobs. So let us leave the job part, which will be addressed. Joe coming to say that people finish school and they go and sell things in the market. When you are educated, you can read and write. When we say educated, you've got the basic one. When you are selling, honestly, you are far better than the one who didn't do any. You should try and clear the coffee. I don't think Joe understands what we are talking about here.
What makes you think so?
Do you know clear the
I know.
She was giving a check and she was looking at the check upside down. That's education. If she has got the basic, don't call herself said when she come and she becomes the government president, education will be free for everyone. Even if we don't know the value of education. And Joe, who has got education, is standing around to say we don't need it. They are not saying they don't need it. What they are saying is that it should be only for those who can afford it. That is the argument these people are making.
Oh, right.
That is the argument. If you cannot afford to pay for your education in Ghana, then you don't deserve it. But that is not the position of the Constitution.
Would you want to talk about how Mr. Kwarteng started off the British economy?
What?
Mr. Kwesi Kwarteng, dealing with the economy was quite a vast difference from how it's been. You want to say something about it?
To be honest with you, the issue on Kwesi Kwarteng and the economy and this conservative approach to solving their problem. And I think we must be humble to understand it's a very complicated problem. The problem was not caused by the British. This is Russian-Ukraine war that is causing serious problem. It's an exogenous problem. Can you see?
Yeah.
Whatever you do, this problem will be there. Nobody can solve this problem until all over Europe they are on their knees. Maybe you are not aware. You understand? In fact, that is what is killing Akufo-Addo's government.
Oh.
Yes. All over the world, the only even Chinese economy is in trouble. Go and read the news. The only economy I will say they are trying is the American one. And America has the capability. And this is where we are talking about ECOWAS. You have people like Joe that we are playing. And the bigger economies are able to take the shock. Can you see? Britain is a small economy comparatively, so it's developed like the Japanese economy. Can you see? But things like this of the global nature and external factor, it affects them seriously.
Wow.
Yes. So that is the problem we have here. And Kwesi Kwarteng, you understand? He's not working alone. No. Everything is doing, there are professors that have gone to it and presented and convinced him. His job is to go out there. He didn't sit in his room like that one. What is the name of that one? Oforiata. And be writing, and Baumia, they are writing lies each other in their room and they come and tweet at us and we'll be fooling around and Joe will even be in the middle of it. No. This one's professors have sat down. People who are financially successful have sat down. Do you understand? And they work and they have lectured and they have educated and they have explained. Can you see? But when you come to the reality on the ground, the argument is political. You understand? And it's backfiring. What? Because you're talking about people's mortgage. What they did was they want to create an economy that will allow those in the upper class to keep more of their money than being taxed. Because those in the upper class, they are those who employ labor. Can you see? So what they want to do is to keep people in job. The assumption is that the employers of labor will invest when they have surplus, when you allow them to keep more of their money. Can you see? But the analysis that is coming down is that because if they can, then they will do away with more people out of job. Right.
Okay, Mr. Ofiali, we've got 5 minutes. And I'm going to share that with between you. You've already spoken all the time, so I'm going to take you as the last person. And then
so you see, the problem you ask me here, you understand?
Yeah.
If you look at it, businesses don't just spend their money. Most businessmen reinvest their money. Can you see? How much can you spend on your own? So you reinvest. Can you see? So when you are looking at it, that they are making money and they are keeping it for themselves and they are going to spend it, you tax that money. Can you see? So these people are creating a policy that will allow the upper class to keep more of their money and keep people in job. And the argument by those who are against what is going on is that they are only the rich, making the rich richer because they will keep more of their money. And they feel economically it's not good enough. That is the argument. Can you see? And labor is quick to jump into that. Because when you make that, the poor men who are the masses, the electorate, their bills are going up. And when you are doing this, it plays into their hands. Because to them, the rich man is too rich to keep too much of his money. He should pay tax at anyone. Scream off the tax. Can you see? So when you look at the tax system, it's in favor of the upper class. That is all the argument they are having. And the upper class are employers of labor. So it's a kind of capitalist way of looking at production, creation of wealth. Does it make sense?
All right. Thank you very much.
Rather than losing your job, if you lose your job, how can you pay your rent? The employers of labor, they are those who need to keep more of the money so that they can keep people gainfully employed, and then the money will be going down. That is how sometimes government works.
Okay.
And we call it a Keynesian approach. That is how you go. Let the upper class keep more of the money. They will, because they can't work alone, isn't it? So they employ people. When they employ people, they are creating jobs. You have one McDonald's or two McDonald's. Instead of the government collecting the money from you and spending it on welfare, because the money the government collects is only for spending, paying salary to idiots, and the money is finished. They come back again. But when you keep the money in the hand of the entrepreneur, he has two McDonald's, he creates three McDonald's. Those people working in McDonald's, tax them. Can you see? And then the business again, if you can see, the personal money the person is going to use is what you tax. Can you see that the money the person will use for himself? You tax as well. But people are saying, no, Amazon made 70 billion. So the 70 billion must be taxed.
All right.
No.
Mr. Kofi Ali, that's all we have for you. I'm going to get Joe finally because our time is up.
So let Joe understand before I land that education is the right of every human being. It's like food and healthcare and housing. And we need to educate as much as we can.
Right.
But we also should think of job creation. But not the one we are doing. The one they are doing doesn't create any job.
All right.
You have these people sharing money. Do you see them sharing money?
That's right. Thank you very much, Joe.
Somebody said they collected 50,000. How do government give people money for doing nothing?
Thank you, Mr. Kofi. I see you next week, hopefully. Thank you.
Okay, have a wonderful day.
You too, sir. Thank you. Yes, Joe.
Yeah, Doc.
Yes, sir.
I think one thing Mr. Kofi Ali doesn't understand is that the education word or term is very broad. And there are sections who say we have formal education and we have informal education. And so if someone goes to learn how to do hairdressing, that person is engaged in the informal one. It is also education. So if someone comes on there and thinks, you see, the problem we have as Ghanaians, and that is not the problem of only Kofi Ali, the problem we have as Ghanaians when it comes to education, we feel education is about speaking and writing English. That is all about education. And that is why we have people who are engineers, they can't do anything. They have the title as engineers, they have this because the education of being educated to become an engineer is to speak English and write English. That's what Kofi Ali understands. But if someone is a hairdresser, he's going to learn the trade through some form of institution, through someone. Yes. The person has educated herself. You understand? So if we are then talking, if you are making that holistic approach of there should be free, then you need to give everybody, because look, the right of education, as he is talking about. If I have the right to be educated, as he is saying, the Constitution makes provision for that, then I also have the right to decide which form of education I also want. Because if I feel I'm not good at going to school to learn 1, 2, 3, and I want to learn hairdressing, then the government has to put me to hairdressing because it is the right. You understand? So we need to look at it. And then the other thing, secondary education is not basic. Secondary education is not basic. We are now climbing up the ladder where it becomes more of a luxury. Last time I was talking to someone, and here, at first they said they used to do it, but until recently, circumcision. I asked a nurse, and she was like, circumcision now is seen more of a luxury than a necessity.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, because it is same like a woman also saying she wants to make her breast big.
Oh yeah.
You understand?
Yes,
Does the government have to pay for you to go and make your breast big?
Yeah.
So if you also want to circumcise your thing, you have to pay for it. You understand? Yeah. So we need to look at it. It is not just because we want to have education, everything, then we jump free. Look, we are a country. And so like you rightly,
so many things about Kwesi Kwarteng's listing. I don't think I'll be able to read all, but
yeah. I mean, with let me conclude by
troubles with the British economy. Yeah, it's only a rig in a second because I can't read all. So the trouble with the British economy, I dare say that I dare say didn't start from one and only Kwesi Kwarteng, the current Chancellor of the Exchequer, who was being criticized by British media and politicians alike. Anyway, yeah, go on.
Yeah, on that point I agree with Sir Gabo, because the problem has been created. Today, if you read the newspaper, I think if elections by the poll that's been announced, if elections were held today, Labour would have almost over 450 something seats compared to almost over 56 or so seats for the Conservative Party.
Yeah.
So it tells you this problem has not been manufactured by Liz Truss when she just came in, and for that matter, when she appointed a black man, he's brought black magic to kind of take the British economy away. Overnight. The problem has been there, long overdue. Overnight. So they need to kind of exercise restraint.
All
I
right.
think the man, yeah. Let me also thank him for giving us the platform
That's
today.
right.
Is unfortunately we didn't have Mr. Tegbe and other people on, but
Yeah,
I think it's been
because,
wonderful. I think
Mr. Chan, for example, he listens, and then Deborah comes in maybe in the evening to respond to all the.
yeah. So I send my greetings to them wherever they are and wherever they find. Usu Acham, Mr. Tegbe,
Okay.
and on everybody. Thank you yourself.
Thank you.
Say Gabo, Kofi Ali, Mr. Kitiosen, and
All right.
let us look at it in a positive way. I have always said I may say certain things and it might not be to your taste. Ignore that. Look at the thing I say, which is good for Ghana's development. That's what you need to look at. That's what you need to be concentrated on.
That's
Because
right.
at the end of the day, it is not about me, Joe. It is about country Ghana, all of us benefiting. And that is the
Yes.
most important thing. So, Doc, thank you. And we need to also appreciate the producers, your media
All
for
right.
giving us the platform. Let us appreciate them. And we
At least
thank
the
them.
voice of views. Thank you.
Exactly. They've given us the voice and we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
sir.
sir. All right, guys. Thank you. This is the end of another edition of the Newsfile UK. That was Joe who concluded. Hopefully, next week we see you. Do have a good weekend.